Also today, Donald Trump's reversals and more reversals on major policy positions starting to catch up with him, starting to be critiqued by other Republicans. We wanted to spend a little bit of time today to really look at what he has said on several issues, starting with torture.
I would bring back waterboarding, and I'd bring back a hell of a lot worse than waterboarding.
That was February 6th, when asked if the American military would obey his order since it would violate international law and the Geneva Convention. He said this.
They won't refuse. They're not going to refuse me, believe me. But they're illegal.
The very next day, he reversed himself in a statement to the Wall Street Journal saying, quote, "I will not order our military or other officials to violate those laws and will seek their advice on such matters." But after the attacks on Brussels, he reversed course again, supporting waterboarding. Quote, "Look, I think we have to change our law on the waterboarding thing, where they can chop off heads and drown people in cages, in heavy steel cages, and we can't waterboard." Now, Trump on the issue of immigration. We know he has kept up his call to build a wall on the southern U.S. border, but he's gone back and forth on whether the U.S. ought to have a visa program for skilled foreign workers. It's known as the H-1B visa program. Back in July, Trump's campaign website argued that the visas were a bad idea, but at the CNBC debate in October,
I am all in favor of keeping these talented people here so they can go to work in Silicon Valley.
And then earlier this month,
Mr. Trump, your campaign website to this day argues that more visas for highly skilled workers would, quote, decimate American workers. However, at the CNBC debate, you spoke enthusiastically in favor of these visas. So which is it? I'm changing. We need highly skilled people in this country, and if we can't do it, we'll get them in. But, and we do need, in Silicon Valley, we absolutely have to have.
And then within minutes of that debate ending, this statement from Trump: "I will end forever the use of the H-1B as a cheap labor program and institute an absolute requirement to hire American workers first for every visa and immigration program, no exceptions." Then last night, 3 positions on abortion within 3 hours from Donald Trump. In 1999, remember that Donald Trump said he was in favor of abortion rights, but since he began running for president last year, he has maintained he is against abortion rights with exceptions.
You're pro-life, but you do think that there should be exceptions for rape and incest.
Yes, and life, the health of the mother, the death, because, you have some cases where the mother may die. It's basically Ronald Reagan had the same thing. He had the 3 exceptions.
Yesterday, Chris Matthews pressed Trump on what would happen if abortion were banned. Would women be punished for having an abortion?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
That happened at 1:41 p.m. By 3:36 p.m., a statement came out from the campaign saying the abortion issue is unclear and it should be put to the states for determination. That's a quote. And 80 minutes later, at 4:56 p.m., Trump reversed what he had said in the Matthews interview and gave us this quote: "The doctor or any other person performing this illegal act upon a woman would be held legally responsible, not the woman. The woman is the victim in this case, as is the life in her womb."
And as of right now, you showed all of those examples, and what's really remarkable about those is that in some cases, Donald Trump is changing his mind, not over a prolonged amount of time, saying, "I've reconsidered this," sometimes within a matter of days, or even in the same sentence at sometimes, contradicting himself. That moment with the H-1B visas is remarkable because during a live debate, as it's being televised, asked about a previous position, he said, "Well, no, I'm changing my position on that." The one thing I would note about this abortion flip-flop from yesterday, a lot of voters aren't impacted every day by H-1B visas. On the issue of Syrian refugees, something that Donald Trump, it might be something that they hold strong views about, but it's not something they think about every day, and perhaps the nuances of international policy aren't something on their minds every day. For abortion, this is something that everyone in the country knows how they feel about it.